Hello, hello, goodbye, goodbye. Yes, it's goodbye week. It's bye week. That means there's no game on the schedule for Josh Sadler. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
You're looking good. That beard's coming in good for the winter. I tell you what.
Well, we're finally getting a little cold weather, so I think some of that stuff's starting to, just naturally take over.
I got on long pants and a jacket. It feels cool. It's going to be cool for the ball game this week. You don't have to worry about it because you're off this week.
Well, we are, but we're still going to do some scouting and still do some watching, and there's a lot of interest, for local schools, and playoff implications and things like that going on all over the district. So it's going to be a good week of football.
Yeah, and kids love it when it's cold to practice. They hate the sweat. Who doesn't, But when it's cool, something different happens with the kids. I don't know.
It does. They turn into kids again, which is fun, and football practice becomes fun again, because it's not the grueling, sweating,
I'm about to die.
Yeah, it becomes fun again, which is good, and I love that. And I'm glad our kids are going to get to experience that finally that fall feeling. Yeah. So it's good to have that little cool front come through.
Yeah, saw a few coaches walking through today, and even they had on their jackets too. Oh, yeah. So man, and everybody's ready for the fall and the winter and the end of the football season coming up. Bye week. So what do you treat it like a regular week practice?
No, we don't. We cut practice back and we go back to more of the basic stuff.
Yeah.
We go back to blocking and tackling. We'll go back to kind of two-a-days type work. Not necessarily the length of it, but the work itself goes back to kind of two-a-day stuff. We go back to some things that we haven't been able to touch on because of time constrictions. Just trying to get that stuff back in our system that we know is going to help us be successful. We practice still 3 days a week. We move that schedule around, based on some things that are going on. But it's just about getting kids healthy. It's about getting back to the basics and get some individual work done, inside of groups and things like that, and then just trying to get ourselves prepared for the next ball game. So we get a little bit extra time. We start prepping a little bit for Brian, making sure we understand what basically we're going to see, and then we'll dive more into it as we continue on through the week. But it's just a good time to get back to kind of square zero or point zero, with your team. I mean, we're going to have some team building exercises, things like that we do inside of our time. So it's just going to be a good chance for our kids to kind of take a breath.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and the coaches too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we never take a breath. I mean, even when football season's over, we don't take a breath. We sit right in the off season and keep going. So
yeah, you got basketball coming up and everything. I know
it just rolls. I mean, it's 365 days a year, so I mean it never changes for us.
Especially when you're campus coordinator.
Well, and it's for every coach. I mean, because even being the campus coordinator, but you talk about your coordinators in general, your offense, defense coordinator, your assistant athletic coordinator, all those people. I mean, it's nonstop. And so, early mornings with weights, afternoons with weights, all that kind of stuff like that just keeps rolling. It never stops.
Yeah, it never stops. And then, so you're going to go watch Brian this Friday night?
Yes, sir.
Take on Midway.
They play Midway on Friday night. Go trick-or-treating with the kids a little bit, walk them up and down the streets. And
dress as a football coach?
I'm going to dress as a football coach.
Good idea.
Yeah. And but walk up and down the streets with my kiddos and remember what life's truly, what it boils down to, what it's about, is taking care of your family and everything else. And then I'll go watch a little football on top of it. That's just kind of icing on the cake.
Oh, yeah.
So because I do love football and love to go watch football and get down there and see kind of what we're preparing for as far as, that live look at the Bryan Vikings.
Yeah. So, and then come up next week, we'll talk about them more when we get closer to that. But I want to talk about your kids and how resilient they are.
Yeah.
These kids could walk away and throw the shoulder pads at you. I've seen it happen a few years ago at Ellison High School. The kids were throwing their shoulder pads down on the sidelines and walking off the field. And these kids keep coming out every day and working hard because they know what the future looks like.
Well, and I love it because I think that we truly have that family. I mean, the kids trust the coaching staff. The coaching staff trust the kids. I mean, it's that back and forth that, even though we hadn't had the results that we want this year, we still have that family atmosphere, that care and that love for one another, and we want to see each other be successful. And I think that's part of the driving force behind why our kids continue to come out and continue to work. Because it ain't easy. If anybody's ever played the game of football, going through a 10-week season or a 16-week season or whatever it looks like, it ain't easy. And there's a lot of stress involved and a lot of work involved and a lot of heat involved and everything else. But our kids just keep coming to work, and that says a lot about them as people. It says a lot about their parents and the upbringing that they provided for them, and it talks a lot about the relationship that our kids have with our coaching staff.
Yeah.
And how much they care about one another. Because as well as anybody is, if you don't have that relationship, that's not going to be there. You have to have a relationship with these kids, and you have to have a relationship with the families that are involved, and to continue to have that support, especially when things aren't going exactly how you want them to be. So, I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of the way they played against Midway last Friday night. I think we had some people kind of puckered up a little bit.
Yeah, for a few minutes
they were holding tight to their chairs.
There's a few of us going,
yeah. But to fall 14 points down as quickly as we did, it would have been real easy to fold camp and just say we're done. And David Smoke called me on Saturday and said that when that happened like that, he was expecting the rout to begin, and our kids said, no, that's not who we are. We're going to fight. And so, for Tavares Miles to step in that quarterback role again and, do the things that he did with our offense, and to watch our offensive line move people around the way they did, and then to watch our defense take hold and get some stops right in there to get us right back in the game since we were down like we were. It would have been real easy to fold the camp. And, our kids just didn't do it. They fought. They fought and they fought and they fought. And, it ended up we got a little worn down there towards the end of the ball game, and they extended that lead a little bit. But I didn't think our kids ever quit. I was proud of our young men for how they fought through that game, and and again it goes to a break or two here or there, and it's we may be having a different discussion. So, so I'm proud of our kids. I really am.
Heart and character come to mind for sure.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the game's going to end for everybody. It's going to end for me in coaching. It ended for me as a player. It's going to end for these kids as players.
I'm going to have to put the microphone away one day. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know. I honestly don't. And maybe that's something I need to look at doing, so I don't have to quite get away from the games too much. But it ends for everybody. And at the end of the day, that's the things that you have to fall back on, or your work ethic, your character, who you are as a man. And that's why I love this game so much, because it teaches you how to do those things.
Yeah.
It presents good times. It presents bad times. It presents, it lets you see the rewards of your work, and then it'll also kind of humble you at times. And that's the ebb and the flow that I love about the game of football. And I think that's why I've stuck around for 25 years, banging my head against the wall, trying to win as much like I do, is because it's just so much fun to see all those things transpire, and watch these kids grow up. Because my first kids that I coached are now 41 years old.
You're old.
I know. They're 41 years old. They've got kids who are grown, and to see the people they've become, and the true character and the leadership that they exude. That's what this thing's all about. And I think that's why we as coaches keep plugging every single day, keep getting up in the morning, putting our feet on the ground, is because of that. And that's the biggest thing I hope for these kids, through all this, which hasn't been great the past 2 years. It has not. If they can learn about work ethic, about that never quit mentality, and to have great character and do things the right way, they're going to be successful whatever they choose to do, Because in this world, there's still room for tough guys. There's still room for those people who bust their tails, and they'll be successful. And I know that. And I'm looking up 20 years from now. Hopefully, I'm still ticking and walking and moving around. But 20 years from now, when these kids are getting close to 40, look at the men that they've become, and that's the most important piece.
Man, it's always wonderful to come talk to you, brother. Even on a bye week,
Yeah.
So it's great.
Well, when you talk about young men, when you talk about the things that could become with these young men, the glass is always going to be half full. I don't care about wins and losses at that point in time. The glass is always going to be half full, because every single one of these young men have a chance to go be successful in something other than football.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing is if we go out there and we teach them how to work hard, to put their feet on the ground every morning, don't lay in that bed, get up, do these things, keep working hard, keep doing this, keep doing that. You know, when they're 35, 36 years old and they have kids, they have a family, you know, and they're working their tails off to provide. I mean, that's all the W that I need.
Yeah,
you know, it's all I need.
Love it.
So
Appreciate you, brother.
You know, I'd love to have a trophy. Those trophies are cool, but those trophies gain dust, and they get moved further and further to the back. You know, but when you see those things in front of you, with your two eyes, those kids who've grown up to be good men and women, you know, out there being successful parents and successful husbands and wives, that's all the W's you need right there.
And with that, I hope you have a great night. Hope you enjoy the ball game, and I'll be back next week to see you, and we'll be talking about those Bryan Vikings.
Well, Dan, I appreciate you, appreciate everything you do, and continue to do what you're doing for these kiddos because, man, they need it. And, you know, I appreciate all your supporters out there, your people who sponsor you, and I just hope we can find a way to get you more sponsors and get more airtime with you, and, you know, through Killeen, ISD, and everything, because I'm glad they're opening the door to let you do some of these games now. But just trying to get more of Killeen, the positives of Killeen out there, you know, to everybody, because again, there's a lot of negative news out there, but there are so many great things happening in Killeen ISD and Killeen, Texas, and there's not a whole lot of positive sources out there, but you're one of those positive sources, and man, I sure do appreciate you for everything you do, and you know, keep doing what you do, keep helping these kiddos out, and you know, hopefully we can continue to help you along the way as well.
All right, as I say, I'm hometown proud. That's what I put on everything. So
absolutely love it. And to all the Killeen high schools out there, good luck this week. We love you. We're supporting you. And as always, go Roos.
This has been an I-14 Sports Network production, bringing the heat from the heart of Central Texas.